so much over the past couple of years is just the amount of effort and value that you guys take with it. And yeah, we were, after our 2-year mark, we were where we thought we had hoped to be in 5 years. And so we grew faster than we anticipated. So now we're just playing catch up. And
is it hard to maintain?
It is, again, I think just because of just for how big the events are. The hardest things for us are finding the locations that can host everybody. And so the more and more families that reach out, again, it's harder for us to find the vets to take that spot and to take the role. I do feel bad because we have a lot of families from out of state that reach out to us, and we don't have the funding to be able to bring them in 3 times a year, house them, travel, lodging. So all the families that come right now from out of San Diego do it on their own dime and on their own time, which again I think speaks volumes to what the program offers. But we would ultimately like to be at the position of where we can start bringing these people in.
So that would be like a long-term goal.
Yeah.
To have enough funds to get people from all over.
Right. And again, we do not like the one and done deal. So if a family comes and they become a part of the Active Valor family, we want to make sure they're here on a recurring basis. Mm-hmm. And again, connecting with their mentors and their mentees, vice versa. And but yeah, we really appreciate the relationship factor behind it all, and so that's our main focus, is just making sure that that we maintain that.
And how do you guys come up with the events and planning? And do you have a team? Is there a bunch of brainstorming on how to get? Because there's some of these events have been so intricate. I'm like, yeah. What? How did you guys come up with this? It's like,
that's honestly one of the big reasons why they're so spaced out, is just because it takes at least 3 months to kind of put them all together. And that's everything. It's finding a location, that's finding the food, all the equipment that we're going to do and they're going to need for the adventure. And it's just me and Jamie, and our childlike wonder. It's like, what would we like to do as a kid? Like, we put ourselves in the shoes of these, we have kids that are as young as 5, and then we have one that's 21, and everywhere in between.
Yeah, so you're trying to appeal to
it's
the
harder to appeal to the older kids, which I think is more important, that the relationships are there, because then it's up to you guys to really make the event what it is. And but yeah, it's easier to appeal to the younger ones because they have that imagination, and things are always just really fun for them.
And then you have a teenager who's like, I'm too cool for
this.
I'm here because I have to be.
Yeah. I think secretly they enjoy it, because we get pictures. We see that we have the videos and pictures, and you see them smiling and laughing, and then they notice they're being filmed, and then they put the cool guy routine back on. It's funny to watch. But it's really just the two of us that sit and just brainstorm and again try to do things we haven't done yet, or expand. We've taken ideas before, and like your first adventure with us, it was one of the field days.
Mm-hmm.
That was the second time we did the field day, so we did the same event the year before for that the Father's Day weekend, but we expanded on it. I mean, obviously we had a lot more people involved, but we had more games we were doing, more activities we were doing, so it was still different for the kids that had already experienced it. And then there's the Halloween event. It's these. So for the listeners, it's a production.
It really is.
we hosted at this SWAT facility in Carlsbad, California, out here in San Diego, and an amazing facility. I think they spent $3 billion in this facility. It's insane. It's where their SWAT, their fire trains. So they opened the doors to us very graciously, and the staff there helps us prepare the whole month. They go way above and beyond because they get just excited about it. But
you got SWAT cars, you guys.
Yeah, they got the armored vehicles that come in and do inserts with the teams and stuff. And but I mean, for instance, the last Halloween event we had in 2019, because we couldn't do it last year, and we had over 100 role players. So I mean, it's a lot of volunteers, and so we get these
makeup and everything.
Yeah, we get the FX makeup crew that comes out and they deer everybody up, and all the kids and vets get their Nerf guns, and I feel bad, man. They're troopers. The volunteers, they put up with a lot, and the kids are ruthless, and but it's a fun time for everybody.
It's a long day, too.
It's a long day.
It's a really long day.
Yeah, even so for them, because the volunteers showed up at like 9 a.m, and just to get all the makeup done, and we have to get lunch for everybody, and then we do the dinner for everybody as well, and yeah, it's a long day, but
well worth it.
It is so worth it, and I think that's the one the kids look forward to the most, but. Yeah, we enjoy doing it, and leading up to it, it's like you just want it to be over. But then when you're there in the moment, it's like, okay, you remember.
It's got to be a lot of stress, just making sure everything works and everything's firing off.
It's more. For some reason, the kids are so observant, and everything needs to make sense. Yeah. So we have to literally have storylines that make sense. Like, because the kids show up, they have their time with their vets for I think about an hour, and then we start the mission briefing. I mean, they're in the classroom, PowerPoint, like it's a mission briefing. They get their packet that's sealed up that they need to rip open, and they get all the different aspects of what they need to do and find and search for, and I think it's exciting for them because they get to be like an operator for a day, and but the stories need to make sense. I mean, and the funny thing is like, I don't think there's sometimes I don't even pay attention, but like we'll even have like notebooks in the rooms that they're searching. So just in case they happen to open a notebook, like it has like all these scientific notes and mathematical equations on there, and like we wanted to make it be as real as possible. And it shows, like you said, our young kids, we have a lot of criers. I feel bad. Yeah. I feel bad, but it gets pretty scary.
But they troop through it.
Oh yeah.
So another thing I love about this organization is, yes, the vets do get satisfaction as a trade-off, I guess you can say, when they come and they help and they have a good time and they build camaraderie, the community, all that. But you also give us gifts in a sense, where it's like, hey, this is like, how does all that come into play? Where, you have lunch for everybody. You have like all these things, like it seems like a humongous project, and a ton of funds that might go into it. If you don't mind speaking on it, like how does all that work into, and how do you decide this is what we're going to give everybody, or
Yeah, I think the adventures run us anywhere from $6,000 to $10,000. I mean, it's per event. It's not cheap. And the biggest cost is probably the food, because again, like the more people, it's easier when you have less people. But like for instance, the Halloween event, I guess we were feeding like 225 people. Yeah, it's a lot of people, a lot of mouths to feed. So,
and it's good food. It's not like some rinky dink thing,
right? Yeah, we want to make it enjoyable for everybody. Oh man, you missed this last event. We had a whole catered Thanksgiving dinner, man. But we're actually a good friend of mine, the guy that catered the adventure in Pendleton. We're just bringing him on now for every event. So we found food we're happy with, and nice small business too as well. So we're probably just going to be doing that from now on. But yeah, it's sometimes we get help from prior we would get help from the restaurants. They would either give us a discount or donate portions of the food, or we'd reach out to some of our sponsors, and it's like, hey, do you want to sponsor some of the food, or the equipment or the gear, and in return they get their logo on the video, and they get they're on our social media, our website. So the gifts are kind of just it's our way of, again, just saying thank you for your time, but again for what you're doing for these kids, and just indulging us and being a part of our shenanigans. But we just want you guys again to feel welcomed and know that you're appreciated. We wish we could do more, and we definitely wish we could do more for you guys, and hopefully more is coming soon. And we're actually going to this year focus a lot on doing some veteran only events, and because I know it's tough for you guys to get that camaraderie and connection once the kids show up, and because then you're focused on them, and you guys don't really have the time to kind of just hang out with one another and get to learn more about each other. So we want to do some more veteran only events this year that I think will be pretty fun. But yeah, I think I lost my train of thought in there. But
no, it's all good.
The gift. So yeah, we just want to make you guys feel appreciated, and it was funny. We got backpacks for all the kids for the Halloween adventure.
I remember everybody's like, I kind of want this backpack. Like, does this kid really need this backpack? It was a really cool, like, tactical backpack.
Yeah, that was funny. So then the next adventure, we got all those bags, the Victos bags for you guys. Those bags, they're legit, man. They're great. They're like $200 a bag.
Like, is this really like we get to keep?
Yeah,
these?
They donated those, so it was like $8,000 worth of merchandise that they donated to you guys, and it's.
So how do you guys go about getting sponsors? Like, what's since there's not much of like there's not much what's the word I'm looking for? Not much of a team besides you and Jamie.
So we have our board. There's 5 of us on the board. It's myself and Jamie. We have Bill Rowland, who he's at all our adventures, elderly guy, gray beard. Yeah. He's always like the director. He gives the speeches and he does like the PowerPoint presentations and stuff. So he's on our board as well. He was actually the retired captain over at Carlsbad.
Gotcha.
And so he was our connection into that facility, which is great. And we have Dan Fulkerson, who is a lawyer down in San Diego. So you'll see that Bata Fulkerson Law Group that sponsors a lot of our events and stuff. So him and his firm have been great. We connected with them when we first started, before we were even a nonprofit yet. One of their employees is a guy that I served with, and so they just happened to connect us online, and so that's how that relationship grew. And they've just been fantastic, and been a big part of us moving forward and our success. And but yeah, it's really just kind of sending emails, and I'm not that type of person. I hate it. I hate it. I am like the worst person to be in the fundraising role, because I hate asking for stuff, especially when it comes to money. So
it's a hard thing to ask for.
Yeah, it is. And I know everyone's like, oh, well, just keep in mind, you're not asking for you, you're asking for the kids. And it just doesn't make it that much easier. But it's just, it's knocking on doors, sending emails, and
you mentioned a dinner fundraiser.
Yeah,
right?
So we do our annual dinner, which again it's a big production, because it's just there's 3 of us that put the dinner our dinners together, and they're I've been to a lot of benefit dinners, and not to pat us on the back or anything, but they come out just as great. Like, we had a great turnout at our previous one. We had to cancel 2020, unfortunately, and then even had to postpone it again this year for September. And so, but like our 2019 dinner was amazing. We had, I think like 220 people, and last year we were hoping for 3. We actually we were about to hit our 300 mark, and so moving forward to this year, we're hoping that the place we have it at holds like 460 people. So if we can max it out, that'd be fantastic. But it's just bringing people together, and the dinner is a great way for us to share information about like the more details of the behind the scenes, because people can see us on social media and see all the the videos and all the photos of the kids and vets having fun, but there's a deeper meaning behind what we do. And the last one we had, I don't think people were ready for like how emotional the night was going to be. We actually had one of our Gold Star spouses speak on her story, and how she lost her husband, what it meant to her and her family, and then them connecting with Active Valor and what the program has been like for her 2 sons.
That's
so
gotta feel great.
It got emotional. One of our veteran mentors who helped put the dinner on, he volunteered to MC the evening, so he shared stories about his unit and the amount of funerals he's been to. I think just the end of last year, he had another friend that committed suicide. It was the 12th person in his unit. So yeah, it was an emotional night, but I think people had a better understanding about why we exist and what the program really means to